Support for This Is an Experiment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. That is 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls.
The experience is the experiment.
Today's guest hails from the DMV and has since made her way out to Los Angeles, California. She is not only one of the fastest rappers in the game, but she is one of the most talented and quick writers as well. Please welcome today's guest, one of my dear friends and somebody I've collaborated with on many songs, Lex Bratcher.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Welcome,
for having
welcome.
me.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to have you out
Yeah.
here and to get you in the studio for something that's not us just going
Right.
fucking crazy and making
Yeah.
music. Which, don't get me wrong, I love more than anything.
I do love that as well.
But you need a little bit of this too.
Absolutely. For sure.
So this whole season is about connecting the business side of the industry to, you know, your talent and to the creative side
Mhm.
and how you have found ways to make, you know, balance in those two things together. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have issues with one or the other.
Okay.
You know, some people come in and they're great with the business side, but maybe
Music is
that
not.
overpowers their
Yeah.
their
I've
ability
seen that.
or maybe it even overpowers their ability to practice
Okay.
and
fair.
become great.
Right.
How do you find yourself kind of navigating through these two different sides of the industry?
Yeah. I would say so. First things first. I feel like I am kind of the opposite, where I'm way better at the music than I am the business. But I'm learning the business. And so, like, as far as navigating it and doing it, because I think I've done it fairly well for someone who doesn't do the business side
Totally.
or doesn't know too much about it. I think for the most part, what I try to do is just, learn as much as I can.
Do you think that there's a specific way in order to kind of grasp that ability? Maybe it's studying on YouTube or finding a
Yeah.
mentor. Or is there something
Yeah.
that worked for you?
Absolutely. YouTube, what do they call it? YouTube University.
Yeah, YouTube University.
Yeah, it's super, super helpful. More than anything, like a lot of people are super big on their business. I'm unfortunately not as big on the business as I should be.
Mhm.
A lot of the reasons why I've gotten to where I've gotten is because I'm so good at the music aspect of it. And so it kind of speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
And so I was a little bit more fortunate in that. But it's still like you could be as talented as you want. If you don't have that business side, then it will never go anywhere.
Yeah, and I think part of this is not even is realizing what you're good at. And
Right.
you know what you're good at.
Right.
And that's a big part of it. And with that comes the ability to not try to be the big shot when it comes to the business side and finding somebody who is great at that to help
Right.
you with it.
Yeah.
Have you found anybody that's kind of helped guide you or that you've worked with that you feel like has been successful with that?
I definitely can say so. I have one guy. His name is High Def, and he's someone who was really there for me. So when I was in Phoenix, I met him at a show. I went to this artist. His name is Futuristic,
Mhm.
and he was having a show. I went, and this guy, this random guy, comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, are you Lex Bratcher?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No
He's like,
way.
and he's like, "Yo, you're dope." He was like, I gotta text Tech right now because he's a long friend of Tech Nine.
Yeah.
And this was after, way after. This is like a year after I had the
Real
song
fast. She's calling Tech 9 Tech. That's how you know how good she is at rapping.
Oh.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
Tech,
that.
yeah. And so he sends a picture to Tech, and he's like, Tech is like, "Whoa, what?" And like I said, I already had the song with Tech,
Yeah.
talked to him a million times.
That's so cool.
But it was cool. And this kid who was there, his name is Benny the Jet. He actually wanted a feature. And the guy was like, "I have a studio at the house, so just come through to the house and I'll let you guys record for free."
Oh, wow.
So that's how I got to know this guy, High Def.
Yeah.
And he's really been there for me. He's really business side. Like, he knows everything about like the paperwork aspect of it,
Yeah.
you know, copywriting and getting, like, if you're going to start a label, you need your LLCs and all that kind of stuff. And so he's
Contracts
kind
and
of
all that.
been that person for me. I call him my consultant, essentially. And yeah, he's been great. And so he's been helping me with, right now I'm trying to book shows, and that's where I'm at. So yeah, that's probably the guy that I would say has been helping.
It's so cool that things are starting to work out in that industry for you, because you know, people like me and people like a lot of the people that we surrounded ourselves with, you know, a few years ago when before you you originally moved and now you're back to LA. But every time we would all hang out, it was always this moment of all of us sitting on the couch for a second and just watching you fucking go, and all of us just being like we can be as good as we want, but we're never gonna be that. That's
Nah, I won't say
that's
that.
something different. You are one of the fastest fucking writers I've ever had the pleasure of being in the room with.
Oh, thank you.
And people will see that on your live performance that we're gonna do. But it's just unbelievable to me that you're able to think and speak that fast at the same time without stumbling, without this.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so cool to me. How'd you get started with that? How'd you start rapping? How'd you get into music? And
So I got into music when I like, hip hop was kind of my life growing up. My mom always played hip hop in the cars. We would take really long road trips to Ohio, as that's where my father lived. And so we'd go back and forth there a couple times a year. And I just remember being in the car, like, back then I didn't have like headphones or anything. I had to listen to whatever my mom was playing.
Absolutely.
And so she would play like all hip hop, Tupac's greatest hits, and like she had Eminem, the Eminem show. We had just a bunch of hip hop, and yeah, so I grew really accustomed to listening to it, to loving it. And then I think what really got me to like want to pursue it was, I tell people this and they're like, "What?" It's Soulja Boy. When Soulja Boy came out in 2007, I was 9 at the time, and he was like he was the reason that I think now people go viral, or he was the forefront of viralism, essentially.
Absolutely.
Right? Creating a dance, and then everyone's doing the dance, and you did it because you posted your video on YouTube. And so like, I think I wanted to be popular, and I was like, oh, I can do that. I can rap. So I started to rap. But luckily, I had such a love for hip hop that it was not just, I feel like it turned from wanting to be popular to wanting to really enjoy and showcase hip hop in a way that's like show how important it is.
Yeah.
And share the beauty in hip hop for me with the world. And so I luckily would study different artists in different aspects of hip hop, which is why I can do the fast rap and all of that.
Well, that's the funny thing, is you can do the fast rap and you can think in that real time, but you can also go do something that's more story bound and slower and fit so many different styles. And I think that's one of the areas that I became obsessed watching you do this is, you know, you jumped on some of my songs that were very much so funk songs.
Right.
And
Yeah.
And
I love
alternative, and you killed that. And we're able to kind of jump over these hurdles that I wasn't able to accomplish, which was really cool, and made these songs something that they would never have been without you.
Oh,
so that I'm super appreciative of. When you were singing in the car with your mom listening to music, was there ever a Tech Nine song on?
Actually, no. Actually, and it wasn't because my mom just was she was like super West Coast, which is weird because we're from the East Coast and like Midwest.
Yeah.
We're from Ohio. I grew up in Maryland, so it's weird that she loved West Coast music more than anything. I actually learned about tech because when I was scrolling on the internet, there was a YouTube video, and it was called me rapping fast or something like that.
I know
And it's
exactly
just like,
what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
100%.
Yo, I've been waiting for someone to, yes.
Yeah.
This kid was rapping Be Warned by Tech Nine, and I was like, yo, I want to learn how to do that. So I learned how to rap that same song, and then I never even realized that it was Tech Nine. Like, it didn't, because I was young.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with Hobson, and then when he did the song with Tech, Am I a Psycho, that's when I went and delved into Tech's discography. and I realized that it was "Be Warm" was his song,
Yeah.
and
So crazy.
I started to
I had a stage growing up where I was so obsessed with just like the ability to rap and think in real time that fast. And like I started watching a bunch of videos on Tech Nine, of course, Eminem. This kid who I think his name was Watsky,
Yes, I
Pale
know
White
exactly
Rapper, or whatever he called it. And
Yep,
he was
he was
just
my
it was
favorite.
unbelievable that people could do that so fluently to me. I think it's incredible because
Yeah,
I'm the opposite.
Watsky did this it's kind of stand up ish. I'm sure you've seen it where he does because he has a lisp,
Yeah.
and so when he would rap, or he did one where he was in front of an entire audience and he did a song where it was only S sounds.
No way.
Yeah, and he would do it on purpose, and he was like, "Cause my lisp is great," or whatever, and it was like I loved it. It was amazing, and
That's so crazy.
yeah, Watsky was one of my biggest influences as well, like at that time period.
Trust me, I live for the experiment, but there is one place in my life that I don't want to be an experiment, and that's when trimming my balls. Luckily, the Performance 4.0 package is here. Inside this package, you will find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, the Performance boxer briefs, and a new travel bag to hold all of your new favorite things. I needed the Lawnmower 4.0 so much more than I ever realized. This thing has a ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents, all thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, a flashlight so I can actually see where I'm trimming, and not only that, but this thing's waterproof, so I can trim just about anywhere. I love this thing, and I love the whole 4.0 package, from the Lawnmower, the Weed Whacker, the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, and all the free gifts they threw in. Trust me, fellas, your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. I feel like when you can do stuff like that, it's almost like if we contributed over or if we thought about it in like the terms of like skateboarding or something, it's like being able to do this. Like there's a lot of people who can rap. There's a lot of people who can ride the board, but there's very few people who can do a double tray flip or whatever it is, like, like it's something that everybody else can do on a level that makes this kind of basic version of the art feel so intense. So like I would say like you can rap to get an emotional statement through, or you can rap to explain a story, but then you can add this other thing onto it that makes it, like when you're trying to listen to somebody who's rapping that fast, you have to be so there. And that's one of the things I love about what you do is, in order to enjoy it, you have to be present.
Right.
Whether that's in your headphones or in person or whatever, but it's a necessary time to be fully present if you want to fully get what you want to get out of it. And I think that's so cool, and just a way to use music to affect people in a way that a lot of other instruments and genres can't achieve.
Fair.
It's pretty incredible. Fair. So what are you working on right now? What can we expect to see out of you, in the upcoming year or a couple years?
An album for sure.
I love it.
Or at least a larger EP.
Yeah.
I always said that I would do my first album when I got like a bigger budget, or I had the money that I wanted to use, so I can get the producers that I want. Yeah. Because there are certain producers I really want on my first album. Might not happen just because whatever, but I definitely believe that in the future, on my next albums or the, whatever, that I'll be able to get that. But for now, working on just getting a project, a solid project, a conceptualized project where I actually spent a lot of time. A lot of times I get into the studio with producers and we just kind of make stuff, but it's like I want to actually say, all right, this is the concept. This is how I want to get there. This is what I want to do and so.
Yeah, like execute a full story front to back.
Exactly. And I want it to make sense. I don't want it to just be a bunch of singles together. And so working on that, I'm really working on trying to get a tour going. Whether that be me headlining or opening for someone. Yeah. Regardless. Touring, and then I just shows in general. And
are you signed?
I'm not signed. I own 100% of everything.
I love it. Are you open to signing? Is that something like a side of the industry that you'd like to explore?
I I feel like in previous interviews I've been like, no, but yeah, like I, of course, like if I got offered a good deal and then
The
it
right
made
deal.
sense, that's all it is. It has to make sense. I'm not gonna give a certain amount of me away and then I can't even put music out, or I can't, I have to go to like I'd sign with a label where they said, we want you to still be yourself. We just want to help you push it.
Absolutely. Kind of execute your vision.
Exactly. So whatever you want to do, we'll just give you the resources because you clearly know what you're doing in a sense if you're, and so that's what I would look for if I did sign.
Is there a dream label that if that deal came through would be a no-brainer?
I always say, like, I feel like everyone's top is like TDE or Dreamville. I'm no longer like, I'm not saying I wouldn't sign, but I'm no longer like, oh my gosh, they're my dream. Only because I've noticed now, even like with a lot of labels, is once you have your king, no one else is going to ever surpass your king on your label.
That's one of the things about these labels, not smaller labels, but like something that's outside of a Warner or a Universal, is they're small enough that you can have a king.
Exactly.
Versus having 50 of them that rotate.
Right.
So yeah, could you see yourself ever creating a label or starting a collective of sorts?
Absolutely. I have already been, like, in the past month, I've been thinking about just doing that. I already have my name for it and everything. I could say it's it's
I love it.
So it's the Losers Club.
The Losers Club. I love that.
Yeah. So it's the logo is like a smiley face, like, when you say you're a loser, but it also L for Lex.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And what kind of artists are you going to look for to be part of this?
I would look for just anomalies is my biggest thing.
I love that.
Yeah, I like
so
anomalies.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't want anyone who I can say, oh, they remind me of someone else. No, I want someone who doesn't remind me of anyone. And so,
and where if somebody's watching this that thinks that they are the anomaly, where can they find you? How can they reach out?
You can reach out to me on Instagram. I do check my Instagram. Or Lex at lexbratcher.com is my email. I check everything. So please do. And I also have my consultant. He checks it as well. And so if I don't get you, someone else will.
And are there any artists right now that are coming up or already there that you're really digging and you're feeling are kind of bringing that sort of vision to the industry?
I always got to shout out my guy because he's like when I moved to Phoenix, he was there for me 100%. His name is Merkums. He's another anomaly, just can do kind of anything, and he's doing his thing. So I gotta say Merkums. I gotta shout out Unconventional Kings, my guy High Def. I gotta shout out Daisy Lynn. She's out here in LA. She's fire. And yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to be coming for all of you for the podcast.
Absolutely.
If Lex likes you, I like you.
There we go.
So tell me a little bit more about the past couple of years for you with the pandemic and how you've maybe felt like it maybe was detrimental at times and how maybe things that you figured out along the way that you needed to change, or maybe how it was, positive and maybe some good changes that happened.
Yeah. So I feel like the pandemic, I can't ever say like, I don't know. It sounds horrible to say it's like a blessing and a curse because people, like, lots of people lost their lives. Like, that's number one. I want to say that, like, my heart goes out to people who lost family members.
Absolutely.
It changed a lot of things. I'll say just a small, quick story, and we don't even have to get into it. But my stepfather, back in February, got really sick. And we thought, okay, it's just COVID. He's had it before, and we ever get over it. So he took my brother, or my mom went and got my brother, and they went and stayed at her house. And he passed away, and it wasn't COVID. He fell into a diabetic coma. And no one knew that he had he didn't know he had diabetes. He went to get a checkup the year before, and they didn't even think to check him for diabetes because he doesn't look or seem. Yeah. And so it's crazy because we just thought, oh, it's COVID. he'll but we want to make sure he quarantines, he stays by himself. And because he was by himself, no one was there to like check on him and stuff. And so
Wild.
that stuff is crazy to me. But as far as music goes, and
I'm so sorry about that.
it's okay. Yeah.
It's never easy in situations like that.
Yeah.
And there's not really a right thing to say, but I'm sure there are some people out there who are going to listen who had a version of that,
Right.
whether it be from COVID or not, that are going to find solace in the fact that they're not the only ones who are going through this, and they're not the only ones who are, thinking about this and had such a
Right.
tough time. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah,
And I
of
know a
course,
lot of
yeah.
people out there will as well.
Yeah, I definitely love to be as transparent as possible, and just let people know, like, I do understand and I get it, and losing loved ones sucks, and it's something that is important to me to just make sure that I'm letting people know. But as far as like the music side,
Yeah.
like, and so during the pandemic, I had a lot of free time because everything was shut down. My job had shut down, and I noticed that I actually was like, wow, like this is kind of what it feels like to be an artist, right? And I got consumed in this feeling like I can do this.
Yeah.
All I got to do is pay my rent. I can do this. And so it just made me go harder. I started doing a lot more remixes. I started to put out originals more. And I just started to do a lot of like contests. And that's when, at the end of 2020 is when I got it in TikTok. And like, I don't know, my second video that I posted on TikTok hit like 12,000 views. And I was like, oh shoot, I had 40 followers,
Crazy.
So I was like, sweet. And I kept going, kind of. I would like stop for a month and then post more and then stop for a month. I was weird.
Yeah.
And at the during like the second half of, or during 2021, where we were kind of in a pandemic, not I don't know, I was just like super focused on getting back to the the not working.
Yeah.
So
it becomes addicting.
It becomes super addicting. I don't want to be at this job. I want to be at home chilling. And then when I need to, write a verse for someone, I can do that. And so I got so addicted to that feeling that I just kept going to now where I am completely mute. I pay my rent, all of that from music.
So cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Also, just to go back a little bit, we met through what you're talking about, your old job,
Yep.
which was Apple. We weren't there at the same time. It was years ago. But I feel like a lot of people there get comfortable.
Oh,
man. And a lot of talented people there get comfortable.
Oh, man.
Knowing that you got out of it, and that hopefully you got a lot out of it as well, out of being there. But that you got out is fucking amazing. And I think people need to realize that the people that you're watching do amazing things aren't always in amazing positions. And this stuff takes time. No matter how good you are, no matter how talented you are, no matter how hard you work, it takes time, and it should take time.
It should.
All the times that you think you're ready might not be the right time.
Absolutely.
And life will get you ready when you need to.
Yeah.
And you're fucking ready. And I'm so stoked to see you you doing this, and it's so deserved. You've helped me a lot. You've helped me out a lot with my music, and been very gracious in giving me some of your time and some of your unbelievable bars on my songs.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
I got to thank you so much for that, and for coming on the podcast, and for sharing everything with everybody. And I mean, if you're out there and you are that oddity, you heard her, you know where to contact her. You have no excuse.
No excuse.
All those times that you're telling yourself you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Now's the fucking time. She's sitting here. She's ready for you guys. Show her what you got.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
For everything you're doing for me, for the podcast, and for the world. It's Lex Bratcher, everybody. And to everybody listening,
I'm Lex Bratcher, and this is an experiment.
Goodbye, everybody.
The experience is the experiment.